Welcome back to the channel. This game is features Nigel Short against Peter Wells, played in the Oakham Young Masters tournament in England in 1984. The Oakham tournament featured a lot of strong English juniors plus some Eastern European masters as well. This was played in the first round in April 1984. The game started as a Caro Kann. And the Karpov variation, but Nigel deviates straight away with knight to e2 to get out of the book. This is a bit of a weird, strange position where both knights have moved twice in the opening. But I traded off and we're back to a normal, standard Caro-Kann position. Offering the trade of bishops. Threatening to take the knight and double the pawns. And the bishop are traded after a tempo, hitting the queen, which results in more trades. So both sides have completed development. The position is completely even, and black seems to have equalised quite comfortably. Trying to expand on the queen side, and Nigel duly defends the d pawn. Rerouting the knight via d3, probably to e5, and black strikes in the centre. Resulting trade, black has now got a backward b pawn, which might potentially become a weakness in the endgame. The knight seems to have found a nice square on d4. Nice move from Nigel, hitting the queen. Obviously, queen takes c4 would fail to rook takes d8 check. And black plans to reroute his knight and offer a trade. Looking to double his rooks. A pair of rooks come off. And the knight head into b4. Black decides that c5 is a better square for the knight. And pushes on the queen side. Nigel plays knight to b5, threatening a fork on a7, but maybe b4 would have been a better move, just to kick in the knight. Offering the trade of queens, the result of which the knight would end up on e4, a very powerful outpost. A fork, but obviously black can evade with the check. And here Nigel decides to take the pawn. Maybe just centralising the queen would have been better. Queen to c3, queen to d4 possibly. But black decides to take the pawn. This allows actually a nice tactic which Nigel actually misses, which is to play queen to f3, attacking the f pawn, and it can be taken because obviously rook takes f7 and queen a8 check, followed by queen takes a4. We'll get the knight back. But he missed that. He played knight takes f7 straight away on the proviso that he can still pick the knight up with a queen check and a fork. So the rooks come off, and black duly grabs the knight, and white picks up the knight. So white's won a pawn, but it's still going to be very difficult to actually press home the advantage as the split, and the black king's more active. Here black's plays queen to e5 check, maybe queen to d4 would have been better to try and keep the queen central. And this is quite an even position. After queen to e5 check, white is allowed to get at g3 and blocking the check. And after this move, obviously black's threatening both the c pawn and the f pawn, but white can check. And plays a nice move a5. The point is, if queen takes c4, then queen to b7, followed by queen takes b6, will pick up the b pawn, and white will have a passed outside a pawn. So Wells continues to just centralise his king. And Nigel tries to get his king back into the game. Black has to defend the g pawn. And he can slowly turn the screw. Maybe g5 would have been better here, so allowing the queen to move once the g pawn's off the g7 square. Nigel just stops any more advances. Now the g pawn moves. And this is probably the losing move, as it allows white to pick up another pawn through a series of checks, and queen to e8 check will pick up the g pawn. He's trying to defend the h pawn, and obviously attacks the f and a pawns. But queen to c2 defends the weak f pawn. And after queen takes a3, white can pick up the h pawn. Obviously the c pawn drops, but now he has 3 connected pawns on the king side as opposed to 2 split pawns for black, and it's a winning endgame. Threatening the b pawn, and the only way to save it is to intercept with the queen, but when the queens come off, king to g2 is the winning move, and here black resigned as the king can cut the pawn off, and obviously now he can march the g and h pawns up the board without any worries. A good game. It was quite level for a long time. One critical mistake by black in the end game allowed Nigel to get the win. So a good start to the tournament with a victory in the first round. and hopefully the start of a good tournament for him. Please like and subscribe if you like the game. And until next time, thanks very much. Cheers.